Nothing new under the sun, which basically means everything has been seen or done before. Now, I'll even go further and say everything has been said before, it's just we reword it, or it's a new face saying the exact same thing. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Rico Tensai, and I like to speak my mind. Today, it is the last week of this whole 75 hard challenge, which means I'm going to be saying the exact same things that I've already said in the past, just to finish off this last week, because it's been a lot. And for those who don't know what the 75 hard challenge is, the YouTube edition, is where you make a video every single day for the next 75 days in hopes that you gain confidence, you gain subscribers and views, and you get to figure out what exactly you want to do with your YouTube channel. Now, as much as I love to try to think of new topics, sometimes you run out of stuff. It's already day 68. I'm sure it's getting to the point where I'm gonna have to repeat myself, and I'm sure there's stuff in the past that, like, I did a part 1 or a part 2 of something that I can't really remember off the top of my head. Like that, like I can't remember everything that I've said, so of course, eventually I'm going to be saying the same things, but I'll probably title it differently, but it's probably the same topic. But I wanted just to point that out, just to let you guys know that if I say something again, don't be surprised. That's just how my mind is. But that idea of nothing new under the sun, it made me think about how it reminded me of there's a certain memory I had from back in high school where, like, you know those like morning like announcements that you'll see and they have like a little TV thing. I don't know if they still do that now, but that makes me sound really old, but I'm pretty sure they still do that. You know, those video production announcement thingies. But during the announcement, there's always that one teacher who's going to tell you to, follow your dreams or something, positive and wise or whatever, right? Everyone in the class will never really pay attention, because why should we pay attention? But one day, towards like second semester, right, instead of playing that same teacher who tells us to follow our dreams, instead they replace him with a clip from Pursuit of Happiness of, it's the clip where, Will Smith and his son are talking, and then it's the one where, like, he's telling his son, hey, follow your dreams, or, don't let anyone tell you you can't do something, not even me. And everyone is quiet. When that movie shows up, everyone is quiet. No one says anything, right? And then at the time, my teacher in the classroom, he goes, so how come everyone was paying attention to that clip when Mr. whatever his name, the other teacher, said the exact same thing and no one listened? And then everyone in the classroom is quiet. At the time, I didn't have an answer to why I'm paying attention to a movie versus a teacher who's been saying the exact same thing every day. Literally the exact same thing Will Smith has been saying. Now, I didn't have an answer back then, but I have an answer now. And that answer now is, 1, it's Will Smith. And 2, why am I listening to a teacher when I would rather listen to Will Smith? Because if I had an option to ask for advice about following my dreams from either a teacher or an actor, doesn't have to be Will Smith. It could just be any other actor, Denzel Washington, Robert Downey Jr. If I had to pick between the two, of course I'm going to go towards the actor, because why would I pay attention to a teacher? Because in my mind, I don't see being a teacher as enjoyable to do versus an actor. Actors do cool things. Teachers, they'll help you teach and learn stuff, but actors, because we look at actors as essentially gods. If you really see how society is when it comes to looking up to these actors, it's like their whole focus is on them. You can't compare. You cannot compare this one teacher to all these great actors. That's why at the time, I just find it funny that we always hear the same things. It just depends on who's saying it. For example, I'm sure your parents have told you also, hey, follow your dreams. But because it's your parents, it's like, whatever. You don't really believe it for some reason. But when it's someone random on the internet, of course you believe it. I don't know why, but you just do. And it just hits you differently. And I get it, as you get older, things just, your mind changes, your ideas change. But at the same time, we've always been hearing the same things, but we just don't pay attention to it. All I'm saying is, for the last week, I'm just going to be saying pretty much the same things that I've always been saying. I'm going to try to come up with new topics as much as I can, but if I don't, then I'm just, recycling things that I've already probably said. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Doesn't matter if it's 1 view, doesn't matter if it's 10 views. I appreciate anyone who's listening and or watching. And I'll see you tomorrow with a topic. I can't say it's going to be a new topic. It's just going to be a topic. That's all I can say.